first pair Rivals Night on a beautiful Friday here at Bradenton Motorsports Park. The 5th annual Drag Illustrated World Series of Pro Mod presented by Johnson's Horsepowered Garage and J&A Services. Bob Glenn had lane choice and took the left lane. Robert Abbott is pre-stage. Bob double bulbs, and we're off. First one off the line. Bob Glenn out in front, and the Roots Blower car is going to get there first. 366 with a 6, 204 miles per hour. Bob Glenn, first off the line, first to the stripe. 366 with a 6, 204. Robert Abbott was 83 on the tree, 373, only 189 miles per hour, and Mike is not yet qualified.
NMCA heavy hitter. We got a nitrous hitter in the right lane. Really impressed with his performance so far this weekend.
It's Widener off the line first. Look at the nitrous car with the flames, and he'll get there first as well. 366, and parts go flying off of Widener's car as he went through the lights. 366, 205 miles per hour. Good news for Widener, makes another strong run and wins that race against DiDomenico, who lifts early, goes 406. And they did put a screw charger on this car. They run the Roots combo and NHRA stuff, so they made some changes to try to help. Dimitri's not yet in the show. Ray Matos out of Puerto Rico, the Pro Charged machine. He's currently qualified 30th, so this run matters a lot for Raymond Matos as well. It's Dimitri off the line first. And Dimitri's going to get there first on a whole shot, 375.2. Raymond Matos, though, 366.9, 205.
Yeah, he won't be too upset with that.
You're going to lose on a whole shot, not too happy. 366.9 will take all the pain away for Raymond Matos, who moves up well into the field here at the World Series of Pro Mod. Not just the rivalry matchup, not just the battle of our north of the border friends, but a situation where Paulo doesn't want to go into Saturday not in the show. And for Scott Wildgust, he's 28th, so he's not comfortable in any way. Wildgust off the line first. Paulo is going to go block hunting out there. And for Wildgust, 364, 208 miles per hour. The Smokies machine rockets into the top 5 of qualifying here at the World Series of Pro Mod. 3.644 at 208 miles per hour.
Juice is,
Paulo,
yeah, he's going to bring that block all the way with him back to the pits. Here from Team Bradenton out there replacing the block.
Another look. Watch Paulo's car. By the time the nose comes down, nothing he could do. You can see the butterflies close. He tried. Turned that thing sideways. By then, the ship had sailed.
Just an awesome guy. This call-out was really simple. Jeff Rudolph was one of our last entries into the event, and he wanted a piece of Chad Green, and Chad accepted. That's all there is to it.
Chad won't hide from anybody. That's the silver nitrous car. Look at the flames on that nitrous car, but Chad Green's in trouble, and Jeff Rudolph off the line first, to the stripe first. 366, 206 miles per hour. Jeff Rudolph, 40 on the tree, left first, never looked back, and improves by 0.03 of a second. For Chad Green, 373.8. Chad Green's gotten right down the track on all 3 runs, but they cannot find performance in that car. And I talked to Dean Marinas down before this session, and that's exactly what he told me.
Car up last year, get the chassis right, kind of work with him on that clutch. Ricky may have also talked him into taking that clutch out of there.
Steve King's currently your number 4 qualifier. Scott Palmer does not have a time. Scott Palmer's not going to get there on this one either, and Steve King, 364.8. Steve King has made 3 runs at the World Series of Pro Mod. He's gone 364.4, 364.8, and 365.0. Already set to go. These 2 cars right now in qualifying, Mike, are separated by 2 thousandths.
We've got a good matchup here then.
Melanie, number 21. Preston, number 23. 368.1, 368.3. Nobody wants to go in first.
Such a
Melanie
cool shot.
Bumps in. Preston hangs her out. Tanner off the line. Salemi knocks the tire off, and Preston Tanner 365.0, 205 miles per hour. Preston Tanner picks up 3 hundredths of a second and was 0.37 letting go of the button. Melanie Salemi was 47 on the tree and left second. You said it, Mike, two of the best drivers, pure drivers, here this weekend, and they brought their A game to that race. WS Construction Machine with the Pro Line power on the right side. Kevin Rivenbark. Screw-charged machine. Part of the Stan Shelton Culp Lumber conglomerate over on the left side. Bolt in, bolt off. First one off the line, red light, Randy Weatherford. First red light arrivals night in a 366.2 for Randy Weatherford, improves by 19 thousandths of a second. Kevin Rivenbark goes 367.1, 207, improves by 18 thousandths of a second. Cortuccio, currently qualified 15th, right smack in the middle of the 32-car field. And Jason Lee, not just trying to get the win, but trying to put himself in. Jason Lee's car hunting towards the center line. Ken Q gets there first, 364, 206 miles per hour. He's quicker off the line, goes 364 at 206. And for Jason Lee, 371.4, 204. Good news, went down the track. Bad news, will not put him into the show heading into Saturday. Decker in first. Ward off the line first by 9 thousandths, but he's way over to the wall and has to lift, and Mike Decker goes 3.701, 205 miles per hour. Derek Ward goes 422 at 128. Mike Decker, the third, was second off the line, but by half track had driven around the reigning Northeast Outlaw Pro Mod champion, who had to lift as that car started hunting over towards the wall.
Don't lean too hard on that thing. Might cave in that nose. We're actually going to have Keenan Allen on the property tomorrow.
Excellent.
And we're gonna get those two together and do like some UFC pre-fight photos. It's going to be fun.
Wow, one foul off the line, the difference. But Nova Joe's got a lift, and for Scott Lang, a 366, 206 miles per hour. I tell you what, Keenan, if you're watching right now, you're going to have all smiles when you get to the racetrack tomorrow. 366.4, 206. Scott Lang propels himself into the field and at a pretty comfortable pace. NHRA spare motor to Chris because they broke a motor, so they've been easing into it. I'm going to guess he takes the reins off of it on this run. Klein off the line first. Housley over by the wall has got a lift, and Klein 3.903 at only 193 miles per hour. So it actually looked like it was on a pretty good run early on, but doesn't have the speed on the big end of the racetrack, and he's out of the throttle to 3.903. I tell you what, Blake Housley was 930 to 60 feet. If that race car would have gone straight down the track, you're going to see a big-time number from that Willys.
247 with a 4 to the 330, just drifting to the left, and we saw some smoke out of it once he set the wheels down. Franklin, multi-time PDRA Pro Nitrous World Champion, owner of the PDRA, has done so much for drag racing. And these are two rivals that see a lot of each other in the PDRA, and again, they wanted to line up down here in Bradenton.
Tommy Franklin wears that number 1 on the side of that car after winning the championship again last season. It's Butner off the line first. Butner hikes the front end at the stripe. It's tight, and Marcus Butner
wow,
on a whole shot. 365 beats a 363. Marcus Butner 3.650 bumps into the show. Tommy Franklin 3.634 bumps all the way up into the top 3 or 4 cars of this event.
67 Mustangs to successful business owners and supporters of Pro Mod in the Midwest and on the East Coast.
Stan Shelton and the Culp Lumber Machine. Tommy Cunningham, who's now the owner of the legacy company at Stroud Safety. It's Cunningham in first.
Stan taking his time.
Boy, Stan really took his time and got off the line first. 21 on the tree and drives away. 364.9, 207 miles per hour for Stan Shelton, who was on the outside looking in before that run. Tommy Cunningham's team's pretty happy with that run. 3.671 at 204 miles per hour. In fact, Tommy Cunningham would have moved to the bump spot had he not stepped up there Tony Wilson, an NHRA national event winner, as a fill-in driver last year for Jason Lee, came kind of out of nowhere as far as that was concerned. Jim Halsey was number 2 in the Pro Nitrous category a year ago in the PDRA. Wilson off the line first in the Corvette. Here comes Jim Halsey charging.
There it is.
3.609, 209 miles per hour. Jim Halsey goes to number 2, 3.609, 209. Mike, you said it. Nobody wanted to call out Jim Halsey.
That's why.
That's why.
Yeah, that's exactly why. The only man really to get within striking distance of Mark Mickey with that turbo combination.
It's Chuck 55 off the line first. And it's Chuck 55 getting there first. 364 for Chuck Parker and the Pez machine at 207 miles per hour. And Mike Bowman steps way up to a 366 at 206. That'll put Bowman into the field.
And he wanted to step up and prove that he fits in that category as well. So Lyle's made quite a name for himself in the Southeast as one of the best pure levers and drivers in this class. Mike Decker said, let me line up beside you and see what we can do.
Screw charge for Decker, pro charge for Lyle. It's Lyle off the line first. Decker's way over to the wall. And Lyle Barnett, 366 at 206 miles per hour. I'm going to guess they were looking for more, but that's good enough to put him in right now. And how about Lyle Barnett? 0-24, letting go with the button. Mike Decker did a good job. He was 44 on the tree. He was dead late compared to Lyle Barnett.
And knowing Lyle, that 0-24, he's probably disappointed in it.
Would not be surprised.
This man works relentlessly on his glove combination, on the throw, on the button. His method for leaving the starting line, he gets fired up. Look out.
Jason Harris, top 8 car coming into the session. Travis Harvey found himself right in the middle of the pack. This time it's Harris 003 off the line, and Harris getting there first. 362, 205 miles per hour, and Jason Harris steps up in a big way. Travis Harvey goes 365 at 208 miles per hour, finds 0.02 of a second, was 25 on the tree, makes his best run of the weekend by 0.02 of a second, and was looking at the parachutes of Jason Harris going through the 8th mile. Alex Laughlin has made starts in Top Fuel Funny Car, Pro Stock, Pro Mod, Competition Eliminator, and more. Frankie Taylor's tuning that car that Alex Laughlin was driving. Jason Scruggs raced Frankie last year. Laughlin left on the missile, but had nothing for him. 363, 208 miles per hour, and Alex Laughlin's car makes best run of the weekend. 373 with a 9 at 202 miles per hour. But for Alex and Frankie, they're going to have to go back to the drawing board. That is not enough to put them into the show. Vergatz leaves first. Watch the turbo car charge. Oh, a big explosion for Vergatz. And Mark Mickey goes 363.5 at 217 miles per hour. Mickey's performance falls off, but the eyeballs now turn towards John Vergatz's machine, and it grenaded on the big end of the track. Look at the hood scoop on that car. Howard screw charge machine in the right lane, and the Mike Janis supercharger on top of J.R. Gray's car in the left. Neither car of note is qualified right now. Swanstrom off the line first. Look at J.R. having to drive that thing, gets a block and a boom for Justin Swanstrom, who goes 373.2 at 199 miles per hour, but he launched the supercharger in the process on the top end of the track. That's not going to be enough to get him in, and J.R. Gray knocked a block out with the header pipe. That'll DQ the run. It was only a 393. It wouldn't have mattered anyways, like the Axeman, without reason.
Well, a lot of these guys, you know, hey, can I get an invite to the World Series of Pro Mod? I'll find a car to drive. Just invite me. Get me there.
The Axeman, Marcus Burt, Black Mamba, Keith Haney, neither car currently qualified. That is stunning. I'm willing to bet that changes here. Burt in first. Haney follows. Keith Haney off the line first. Look at the nitrous flames on that race car. 363 for Marcus Burt, gets there first. 206 miles per hour. The closest race of Rivals Night, Marcus Burt by 2. thousandths of a second, drives around Keith Haney on the big end of the racetrack. Keith Haney goes 367.1, 205. That'll put him in for now as well. And two of the biggest names who were on the outside looking in coming into this session are now in the show.
Iconic matchup in 2003. Todd sat there fanning the door almost to the point right up until he staged the car.
Ricky's pre-staged, and Todd hasn't rolled forward. Here we go.
Oh, here we go.
They go right in. Tutterow off the line first. Tutterow gets there first. 365, 207 miles per hour. King Tut reigns supreme. 3.657, 207 will bump his way comfortably into the World Series of Pro Mod. Ricky Smith goes 368, 205. That nitrous car was saving something. He picks up 700ths of a second off his best run of the weekend. A couple of men who went to the final round at this track 1 year ago and raced for $100,000. We're going to do it again on Rivals Night. Spencer Hyde is in. Kurt Stedding follows. Off the line first is Stedding by a couple thousandths at the stripe. Kurt Stedding got him by 5 thousandths of a second. He gets revenge. 363 beats a 362 on a hole shot by 5 thousandths of a second. Kurt Stedding gets his revenge. A 363.0, 207 beats a 362.7 at 208. Kurt Stedding was 029 to Spencer Hyde's 037, and the rematch of the finals from the World Series of Pro Mod lived up to its billing.
What more could you ask for right there? The incrementals almost identical. Reaction time 60 foot, 330 all the way down through. And again, just a little over 5 thousandths margin of victory. Definitely lived up to the hype.